Hello everyone! The 74th episode got finally released a week ago and it was just legendary. And then we got another portion of new material because literally a few days ago, Boom also dropped 2 secret scenes in compilation of all episodes of Season 24. So I have just tons of information to think about, and I also know what is most likely to happen in the next episode. So today I'm going to discuss the hottest theories that the majority of Skibidi fans are thinking about right now and give you my personal takes on what will possibly happen in episode 75. And just as always, I also paid attention to my subscribers' theories, and I'm going to mention the most interesting of them as well. Now get your tea and snacks ready and prepare to watch this video to the end because this is going to be really interesting. Let's go. And I'd like to start with my theories first, so I kept the most interesting theories of my subscribers for the second part of this video, so be sure to fully watch it, not to miss the most awesome part. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it already. Okay, so if you are subscribed now, let's continue. So the first thing I want to discuss with you guys is episode 75 itself, or more specifically, how it will look like. I believe that the next episode will be definitely divided into several parts, and here's why. Firstly, the making of just one huge episode like the 74th episode is incredibly tedious and requires way too much time. Do you guys remember how long did we have to wait for episode 74 that Boom teased to us? He had to hype us all up using all the possible strategies because the episode was incredibly important for the series. But I doubt he's going to do this again, especially the second time in the row, so it would just be much easier for both us and Boom to get the next episode done in several parts. And secondly, I think it will be just essential to divide the episode like that due to the fact that we have so many different plot arcs and characters at this point. And Boom will need several parts to develop at least some of these plot arcs, for example, the main plot with TV Men and G-Man, as well as the arc of Camera Woman, the human survivors, and so much more. And I'll also talk about it in more detail later in this video. And by the way, speaking of dividing the episode into parts, I expect something very specific from the last part, maybe the third one or even fourth one. I think that G-Man will be fully revealed at the end of episode 75 only, and he will probably shown to us partly in his Titan form. I expect him to be fully repaired and also upgraded. So maybe we'll take a look at some titanic limb of him. Maybe by this time he'll finally get a pair of robotic hands or legs, although I really doubt that he'll become a full Titan just within one episode. And what I definitely expect from him to see is the iconic red eye instead of an eye that he had lost in the fight with the trio of Titans at the end of episode 73. And also, considering how Skibidi Scientist's puppet had a similar eye, it would also make a lot of sense, as it could point out the confection between G-Man and the late Skibidi Scientist even more. And another thing I'd like to talk about is, of course, Titan Cameraman and what happened to him at the end of episode 74. And I already told it earlier in my videos that I don't really believe that Titan Cameraman left us for good, for a few valid reasons. First of all, we weren't shown exactly his lifeless body, and where did he even fall or get ravished by Astro toilets? And secondly, I think that it would be a great opportunity for Boom to keep us hyped until the next episode, or even longer, when he'll be able to constantly tease us about Titan Cameraman and whether he's still alive or not. In my personal opinion, Titan Cameraman will be shown once again somewhere in the future episodes, probably in some epic fight with Astro toilets where he may actually get destroyed in front of our eyes. Or maybe he'll be saved from this sad fate though, although these are just my speculations only. And another thing that should be exposed more in the future episode ASAP is the plot arc between Detective Cameraman and Lucky Cameraman. And to tell you honestly guys, I have so many thoughts about it that I would like to create a separate video about it and tell you everything in more detail. But to describe you shortly what I expect to see, I think we'll see the interrogation of Lucky Cameraman in the process of which Detective Cameraman might get more info about the secret agent who is in fact behind all of this. And it's also possible that Simp Cameraman will be useful to Detective as well, because he spent lots of time being captured by Skibidi toilets, and even interrogated by them, and he still managed to stay alive. So he might know something crucial about Skibidi plans as well. And it's also possible that Detective Cameraman will gradually find out the whole truth about Plungerman's and the Dark Speakerman's passing. And besides this plotline, I also expect to see the comeback of other characters such as the gray-suited Speakerman who accompanied Camera Woman in episode 73, and don't even get me started on TV Men's plot that deserves a separate video as well. And what I'm also expecting to see in the next episode is the evolution of the plot arc connected with Astro toilets directly. And I'm not talking about just the obvious connection with G-Man, who is definitely going to play the crucial role in the series later, but about the whole Astro fraction in general, and what secrets they truly hide. It's still not exactly clear where did they actually come from, because in my earliest theories they were connected with Male 07 and the multiverse of Beatbox as well. But recently, Boom highlighted it pretty clear in the interview with Steak that Male 07 won't appear in Skibidi Toilet series in any way besides some little references here and there. And another theory I had about Astro Toilet's origin was connected to the blue portal that was shown to us through Camera Woman's memories in the first part of episode 73. Because there was a possibility that it could be a portal to another world that was opened due to the governmental program based on which the whole Alpha Hills lab existed. But that is not likely to, because now I have a much better theory regarding Group C Alpha Hills and this blue portal that I described in details in this video. So where did Astro Toilets come from then? And that's what I hope to find out in the next episode. So it's possible that Boom will reveal some unique info about their origin, and it's also possible that he will show us some other fights of the Alliance and Skibidi Toilets as well, with Astro Toilets happening all across the Earth. Maybe we'll see some battles going on in other countries too, and maybe we'll even see some new characters coming from abroad to help the Alliance. But that's just a pretty brave assumption from my part at the moment. But there is also another pretty interesting moment that a lot of Skibidi fans seem to forget about right now, because they are probably distracted by the whole G-Man Astro Titan gimmick or something like that. And I'm talking about Astro Emperor, aka Astro Juggernaut, who doesn't seem to be an emperor right now when we saw Astro Mothership and other powerful Astro troops by the end of episode 74. But even if he's not the leader of the whole Astro fraction, he seems to be a really interesting character to me, because he doesn't resemble the majority of other Astro Toilets at all. What is his special role in the hierarchy of Astro Toilets fraction, and will we ever see him again? Because he seemed to be a really powerful dude to me, and I definitely expect him to be back at some point. Or maybe he'll get revealed to be the leader of some specific branch of Astro Toilets army that would explain his pretty unique appearance. And what do you guys think about this whole Astro Toilets plot? Be sure to write your own opinion on that matter in the comments below, because I'd like to know my subscribers' point of view. And speaking of my subscribers, just as promised, I chose 3 comments that got my attention, and now let's talk about them. So the first comment, written by Jackass Inc. Bro, got me because he stated some really interesting ideas about the plot between Lucky Cameraman and Detective, although I don't agree with all of them. I find it really interesting that according to your theory, the arrest of Lucky Cameraman was planned since the very beginning. But in that case, why Lucky seemed to be so mad when he got cuffed and we could see his hands trembling in rage? So what if he actually failed to convince the Alliance in being innocent? Although I find your another idea really cool about how Lucky Cameraman can give the detective the wrong ideas about the secret agent, so I'll definitely speculate on that part in my video about this plotline. And now I want to highlight another comment from Not Monum User, who presented me really of cool ideas actually, so you can check out all of them. But I would like to talk in detail just about some of them. Speaking about your first theory, I have a pretty simple explanation actually. I don't think that the union of G-Man and the Alliance was planned a long time ago. This plan probably came to the surface when Astro Toilets became a serious threat, not only to the Alliance but to Skibidi Toilets as well, and fighting against both Astros and other fractions would not be a plausible option anymore. Plus, I think that this union was planned to be temporary anyways, as Skibidi and the Alliance are still enemies after all. Although I can assume that after fighting together, the perspective of both sides can change and the union may become permanent. Or maybe the cure against Skibidi decease will be finally found. I also love the point you made at the end of your second theory that Titan TV Man will be disagreeing with this plan because he hates G-Man for everything he's done, and that it can even lead to some serious split inside the Alliance, and it would be really interesting. And it would also suit Titan TV Man's character really well. And speaking of your 7th theory, I pointed out the computers while analyzing episode 74 as well, although I'm still not sure whether it will be a good move for Boom to add another race so late in the series, especially considering how he kinda denounced the whole computerman's race shtick after episode 44. Okay, and now I want to also give a shout out to this Chad named Generic, who basically described the whole freaking scenery for the first part of episode 75. And to tell you honestly, bro, what you described matches with my expectations of the beginning of the next episode really well. Because I also consider it to start with G-Man and his squad fleeing from Astro Toilets, but eventually getting into the fight with them. And it's also really possible that we see G-Man finally getting all buffed up in the process of it that would help him escape the imminent destruction. And I also love the details you described in your comment because it matches Boom's style of storytelling really well. And I also hope to see Astro Juggernaut in all of this because, as I said earlier, I believe he has to be back to the series too. And that was all for today. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, hit the like button below and also be sure to write a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube and Discord channels not to miss my new interesting videos. And that was me, ISOTOILET. See ya!